Is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate the real game of the year? Is the recently released Nintendo Epic actually a true 10? What's going on, guys and girls? It's GhostRobo, and we just saw Red Dead Redemption 2 clean up a ton of awards, and God of War capture Game of the Year at the Game Awards, hosted by Jeff Keighley, an absolutely gargantuan show that lasted over 3 hours and provided countless fun moments, reveals, and more. But right after the show, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate launched, and I've been playing a ton of it. And it's unfortunate that the game came out right after the Game Awards because it might have swept so many of them. This is near perfection when it comes to a Nintendo title, and frankly, when it comes to a video game in general. I can't think of a package that might be more soundly executed and more proficiently produced than this one. And I want to go through sort of my review, and then if the game really should beat out these others for Game of the Year. It's hard because they're not directly comparable. God of War, RDR2, even if you look at things like Celeste or other games that got some mention, Smash Bros. Ultimate is entirely different. But let me tell you the biggest surprises from the game. I think what they do so well is World of Light. The adventure mode that was sort of the last little, hey, one more thing in this game, revealed by Sakurai at the most recent Direct before launch. It is absolutely massive. We have been rushing through it for Switch Force. If you want to see some more granular videos, you can go over there. We have tons of content. I'll put a link in the description to my Nintendo channel. Gabe has played and beat 550 spaces in World of Light. That just goes to show you the pure scope of that mode. It is a true Nintendo celebration. The map in World of Light houses so many secrets, so many Easter eggs, so many nods, and the battles themselves are fun, they're challenging, they're a little repetitive, but they do hold so much enjoyment, especially as you progress towards the end. And I don't want to spoil any of the real juicy bits, but there are some moments that people have been waiting for, I think, for a long time, and they're realized here, and it's so good. I think Spirits as a whole is something that came together incredibly well. I was really worried. I thought Spirits, man, it looks boring. It's just like, hey, they're shooing in all of these other, quote, characters and letting your imagination run wild, and that's really nothing to write home about. But in fact, it is. I'm writing letter after letter because I love messing with spirits, being able to put Lanky Kong as the leader of my spirit squad and then attach all sorts of Pokemon and Mario baddies and random characters, obscure characters that I don't even know where they originated. It's so much fun, and modifying your fighter in a way that increases his or her speed or makes them resistant to poison or adds some health regen as things get dire. It is a lot of fun, and it makes it feel like World of Light is such a separate mode and such a beefy piece of content that it's going to take you 20 to 30 hours to get through. In fact, there are separate save files for World of Light, and I think that is maybe one of the cleanest and simplest ways to showcase how this mode is really deserving of almost its own thing entirely. They expanded the single player content in Smash Bros. Ultimate in a truly ultimate way, and I think that it can't be it can't be stated enough how important that is, because the single player side of Smash Bros. Is always something that I have felt has been up and down, right? It's been like really cool in subspace, it's been really not cool in other areas, it's been much more arcadey at some moments, and they still have classic here, and they still have the opportunity to experience it that way. But World of Light really cements a single player, maybe not story-based, but a single player campaign style experience that you're gonna love if you're a fan of Nintendo or you're a fan of any of the games that have appeared on its console. It really does feel like that crossover celebration, and it seems like that's going to continue. As Reggie mentioned last night at the Game Awards, Persona 5 crossing over with Smash Brothers, incorporating Joker into the DLC pack. That's kind of the route they're taking for the Fighters pack, is to find crossovers and make this the best celebration that Nintendo has to offer, and maybe that gaming has to offer. But outside of that single player, outside of World of Light, outside of how cool it is to see all of these faces and all of these unfamiliar ones as well appear in the form of spirits, and how Spirit Board can enhance your World of Light experience by allowing you to specifically target certain guys or certain types and acquire them via really cool challenges where the developers creatively found a way to integrate these spirits and their character traits and vibe into a pre-existing set of characters and items from Smash Brothers and somehow make it seem like they relate, and often do a very good job. There's also new modes that aren't really, I feel, being talked about that dramatically improve the Smash Bros. Experience. Squad Strike and Smashdown are epic. Squad Strike, the one where you pick 3 fighters versus 3 fighters or 5 versus 5, and there's even multiple ways to do that. You can either Squad Strike in a consistent, continuous battle where as soon as I beat one, your other pops up, or we can do it in a way that it's 1 fight and then 1 fight and then 1 fight. Or we can do it in a way where the fighters line up directly and it's just a best of 3 or a best of 5, and you get to select your order of the fighters secretly, so it's going to be a fun reveal when you see who's matched up with who. That's not a new invention in any way for the fighting game genre, but it is wholly original to Smash Brothers this time around, and I love it. It's the way I want to play Smash Bros, and the fact that they have found a new mode that is now my preferred way to play, that's crazy to me after 5 games, and here we are. It's the best it's ever been, and it should be, because this is a remixed and bring them all together type experience, but it's so much more than that, and I don't want that to be lost in the hoopla of the holiday season, in the massive 74 character roster. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a totally new game, and it expands the franchise and it expands the options in ways that we have never seen before, and in ways that are fully deserving of a brand new game, in ways that are fully deserving of your money, and in ways that are fully deserving of as close to a 10 as I think I could get. It's very hard for me to give a game a super high score. I'm very critical, I'm very picky. In fact, I'd say I'm overly specific when it comes to games, and I usually end up being harsher than most people. But here they have polished this to near perfection. There are a few missing pieces. I wish there were more mini games. If you're going to bring all the characters and stages, why not bring Break the Targets? Why not bring Board the Platforms? Why not bring home run action back? I miss those, and I wish they were here. Maybe they're able to incorporate it via some update or DLC, but to me, like, that's the true, like, oh, everything is here but this guy. And at times it's a bit weird when you're unlocking characters, even though we found a really fast method and you can go through quickly, or you can complete classic runs, or you can just find them as you play World of Light. If you want a specific character, you may be waiting a while. Gabe, my co-host on Switch Force, unlocked King K. Rool as his first fighter. That was the character I wanted to play most and was most excited for, given my DK love and my just pure joy at seeing the reveal of this revered villain for the game. But I didn't get him till far, far, far down the unlock road, and that could be tricky and annoying. There's a few other little nuances of how World of Light can be repetitive. Maybe some can consider it even too large. I wish there were a few more bosses in classic mode, and maybe a little bit more transparency on who unlocks what and how it all works. But with those small nitpicks out the way, this game is nearly perfect. There's so much we could talk about how fun it is to set up arenas and play online, about just the local fun on your Switch, taking it on the go with you. I think handheld cramps my hands a little bit given the amount of buttons you're pressing and the speed at which you need to do so for Smash, but it's still so cool to take this at this caliber, this much content, and this graphical level on the go. I do think the game looks notably better than its predecessors, and boy oh boy does it look way better than the 3DS version, which was the last and only other opportunity to bring Smash with you. Now you can take World of Light on the go and have this single player experience that is perfect for bite-sized gaming, perfect for train rides, car rides, doctor's office waits. It is ideal for that because you can play a few spaces, make some progress, unlock some spirits, and everything within the single player modes fuels one another. So unlocking spirits and spirit board is going to help your World of Light, and unlocking resources in World of Light is going to boost your spirits, and it's all kind of working together that every time you play, you're gaining, you're growing, you're improving, and it feels like a progressive journey to the ultimate Nintendo mountain, because when you get to the end, you will have seen and experienced so many areas, so many nods, so many fun moments. It does feel like you climb to the top of the Mushroom Kingdom Castle, and you now face off against a, well, we won't spoil that. But does this game deserve a 10? Does this game need to be amongst the Game of the Year considers? It absolutely does need to be amongst them. Will it beat them? That's really, to me, the most interesting question. Does it deserve a 10? I think if any game would elicit a perfect score, it would be this one, because one, it's set up in a way that it could earn, I think, a 10, because so much of it is gameplay specific and gameplay centric. It's not like, oh, was the storyline, did it hit the emotional beats? Did it wrap up well? Did I feel attached to the characters? They are so about gameplay and about this fun loop, and they've had forever to perfect it, but they have truly mastered this style of game, and I think it is obviously the best Smash Brothers ever, and one of Nintendo's best creations ever. It is so jam-packed with content, and it shines at every area, right? The World of Light, the single player stuff, fantastic. The multiplayer stuff, fantastic. The new modes, fantastic. The opportunity for co-op and competitive, fantastic. The online so far, for me and my experience, fantastic. The roster, absolutely massive, fantastic. And getting quirky with Piranha Plant and Joker and future DLC. The stages, fantastic. The items and the way you can modify the rules, fantastic. The small tweaks and nuances that have been upgraded or affected in this version, fantastic. What do they do wrong? Not a lot. I gave you my nitpicks. They're very small and minor. So what do you dock this game for? Frankly, I'm kind of surprised to see it sitting at a 93 on Metacritic. And while that's no score to scoff at, I'm wondering what they're taking points off for. And maybe it's just because Smash Brothers is kind of rote at this point, but I truly feel that if you play it for a long period of time, you're going to see and understand that this is not just, hey, a Smash Brothers with all the characters. It truly is the next Smash Brothers. It truly is an evolution of Smash Brothers, and it truly has packed in new elements that will define this game separate from the rest. It's not just a remix of the others. It's not the port that we initially worried about when it was first revealed with Splatoon 2. It is the ultimate Smash Brothers in every sense. And when it comes to Game of the Year, are we looking for the most fun game? Are we looking for the most perfect game? Are we looking for the game that does the least wrong? Everyone has their own criteria. Everyone has their own rules and regulations and what matters most to them. For me, you look and you say, okay, Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, those are the two titans that will clash. Smash Brothers Ultimate needs to be in that conversation. Now, will this game have as much of a lasting impact as something like God of War? Because it sits more as a title that you will frequently bring out and that you will frequently play, but maybe it's not the one that you binge across a weekend like a God of War, or that you find yourself just consistently amazed at like Red Dead Redemption 2. But given the inclusion of World of Light, this now is a game that you can sit there and play over and over again for a really long period of time and make a lot of progress and find really cool moments. Given the inclusion of all the new modes, you can be surprised and have new fun that you didn't have before. It doesn't maybe have the emotional impact of those other titles, but man, it's pretty darn smile-inducing, and it's pretty darn sentimental when you do see some of the scenarios they set up in World of Light, and when you do get to experience your favorite characters fighting against each other, these perfect moments where everything comes together in harmonious chaos. It is a true joy to behold. So, does it deserve Game of the Year? I think that it is probably the best built and most well-made game of the year. So if that is strictly your criteria, what is like the truest, best package and the most polished, perfect execution of a game? Yes. There still is something to be said for whatever intangible God of War holds that creates it to be this magical journey. And I think that still, in spite of Fortnite being the biggest thing on Earth, in spite of titles like Rainbow Six Siege and Destiny 2, multiplayer gaming probably will never have the same impact as single player, especially when it comes to Game of the Year, favorites of all time, lists of that sort. Something about playing through a journey on your own and seeing a story from start to finish with a plot. And maybe it's just written into our human code. The hero's journey is something that everyone is so familiar with and appeals so greatly to our inner psyche that maybe it's that alone that drives single player beyond multiplayer. When I think of my favorite experiences, yes, I have games that I love that are multiplayer, but they'll never top the BioShock. They'll never top the titles that I love the most, and those are the single player ones. So when I think of Game of the Year and I say which game defined this year, or which game will I look back and say that was the best game of the year? It's so subjective, it's so hard, but it's still very tricky for me to elevate Smash Bros. Ultimate above God of War. And maybe that is just a personal thing, and maybe it's a way in which we look at Game of the Year that needs to be changed, because I personally, again, I can very overtly say that I think Smash Bros. Ultimate is a near perfect game, and there are issues with God of War. It's pretty perfect as well, but there's probably more to pick on there than there is here. But maybe it's just the way in which they weave a tale and how they were able to fuse all of these elements in a way that is beyond just gameplay, that for me then elevates it within the conversation. Because gameplay is, that's gaming. Yet when you do more than just the loop of hands-on controller, somehow it creates a more special connection, at least within my brain and at least within my heart. But I do think that at the end of the day, more often than not, we sort of lose track of gameplay loops and things that are just so polished. We get cinematic, we get scope, we get scale, and often nowadays we lose sight of the hands on the controller experience. And Nintendo has never and will never forget that. And they will make that their marching cry, I think, till the end of times. And that is to be truly respected and truly appreciated. And yet God of War somehow does almost just as much gameplay-wise to make it so grand and incorporates all of the other elements as well, that I still feel that's the one that has to win the Ultimate Award. But please do not sleep in any way on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. You're probably not. You're probably playing it right now. Or maybe you're sleeping because you played it all night. Either way, I'm sure it is going to be incorporated in your gaming life. It's truly grand. I think, as goofy as this sounds, I would score Smash Bros. Ultimate higher than God of War and still probably make God of War Game of the Year. And it's, what's more fun than good? What's more good than fun? What's more lasting than short term? What's more gameplay than the sum of its parts? How do you evaluate? How do you know? I don't know. But right now, that's how I feel. And yet, I am sure that there are some people that will give Super Smash Bros. Ultimate the nod. And it's crazy that with such a great library already, the Switch has put together such a lineup, such incredible titles across so many franchises, favorite characters, expanded and explored what it means to be a Mario game and a Zelda game in new ways. And I think that once again, they've done it with Smash Bros. Ultimate. I don't know what kind of inspiration, passion, and motivation lies within those offices this generation, but it is truly awe-inspiring, and it is truly impressive how they have been able to take their franchise and deliver the best after the best after the best. And that's super exciting for 2019, which is supposed to house Fire Emblem, maybe Metroid, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, and more. How are they going to take those franchises, those games, and once again deliver the ultimate? It's really remarkable and something that I think is going to go down in history as how did they do this, regardless of what the Switch does on a third-party level, whatever it does in final sales, however they iterate upon the hardware. The list of games they're building is shaping up to be second to none, at least for Nintendo, and that's crazy given the pedigree and given what some of these franchises have done in the past. Smash Bros. Ultimate joins those ranks. It is easily recommendable as one of the first Switch games you should buy, and if you have friends or family that enjoy games, it's probably the first game you should buy. Even if you don't, there's so much to do from a solo standpoint. If you have the online service, you can get on there and experience multiplayer even without people that play. And the World of Light Adventure Mode houses so many surprises, so many fun moments for Nintendo fans, for gaming fans. You got to see it to believe it. It's going to take you a long time. It might get a little bit trying at points, but it's so worth it. It's perfect for bite-sized gaming. They have done a bow-down job on this game, and I love it. Let me know what you think of Smash Bros. Ultimate and the conversation of should it be Game of the Year, and how do we even determine what should be Game of the Year? Are you leaning one way or another thus far, seeing the Game Awards last night? Does that tip your hat? And does Smash Bros. Ultimate have a shot coming so late in the year? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll be bringing some more Smash Bros. Content your way if you want to see what we got going on over on Switch Force. There's a link in the description below. Tons of Smash Bros. There for you to enjoy and experience, and I cannot wait to see what next DLC fighter will be unveiled. Joker is such a wild card, quite literally. But it's like anything is possible. I'm now back on the train of like, hey, if they wanted to work with Bandai Namco to bring Goku, it is plausible as heck because nobody predicted Joker, and they are willing and wanting to cross over to create the ultimate roster, and they are doing it, and they're gonna continue to do so. Until that time, everybody, have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying Smash Bros. Ultimate, whether you're playing or watching. And until next time, thanks so much. Drink some hot chocolate. We will see you all later.